Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much to Margot and Monica for organizing this event. We are so excited to coordinate with this Welcoming Week Volunteer to Lead event for high school students. My name is Bethany Culpepper. I'm the headmaster of Haas Hall Academy Rogers. And every day here at Haas Hall, we are working to prepare students for college. And as part of that preparation, we always encourage scholars to be engaged in their communities, to become change makers, not only for their personal growth, but to foster professional connections, skills, and experiences. Volunteering is the perfect way to demonstrate your interest or passion for a particular cause or profession. It helps distinguish you from other candidates when applying for college or future employment. We look forward to hearing from different professionals today who will be giving further insights into ways volunteerism fosters leadership. Please note that this event is being recorded and will be available to view after the session. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd like to turn it over to Nelson Peacock, the CEO of the Northwest Arkansas Council.
Yeah, thanks, Bethany. Really appreciate it. And welcome, everyone. And we're glad that you're here today. As mentioned, I'm Nelson Peacock, and I serve as the president and CEO of the Northwest Arkansas Council. And the council is an organization focused on strengthening the region's long-term growth and quality of life. And our approach is that we could do the most through collaboration and cooperation and simply by working together. And it's in that way that we're really proud to be able to support opportunities like today's events. First, I want to say a big thank you to Haas Hall Academy Rogers for partnering with us to make this event possible. And as you may know, and certainly it's on the screen, that today's event is part of Welcoming Week NWA, which is a month-long series of events designed to build connection and foster belonging across Northwest Arkansas. This year, we placed a special spotlight on student engagement, community service, and civic leadership. We've worked to create more opportunities for teens to gain leadership experience and deepen their connections to Northwest Arkansas. And we're grateful for the Welcoming Week sponsors who helped make this programming possible. Give me a moment. I just want to mention them right now. But the Walton Family Foundation, Tyson Foods, Signature Bank of Arkansas Bank OC, Visit Bentonville, Arvest Bank, Springdale Chamber of Commerce, Springdale School District, Bentonville Public Library, Haas Hall Academy, and KUAF Public Radio. We could not do this without their support and really appreciate them so much. We also want to thank all the community partners that show up again and again and again to support events like these and events across Northwest Arkansas to help us build a more connected region. At the council, we believe that supporting teens is not only about investing in future leaders, but it's about recognizing the role that they play today. Young people need to feel that they belong here, that they can find community here, and also that they are part of shaping the region's future. And so volunteering helps strengthen leadership skills, it builds confidence, and prepares students for future careers or education. And it also, I think, from the council's perspective, it builds something even deeper, and that's a meaningful connection to our community. And our hope is that young people choose to stay in Northwest Arkansas after high school, and events like these and others are hopefully helping to lay the groundwork for that to happen. So now I'm really excited to introduce Iman Ali, senior at Haas Hall Academy Rogers. She's originally from Kenya, but Iman joined our Northwest Arkansas community this summer after some time in California, and we're thrilled to have her here to lead our first panel, which is entitled Why Volunteering Matters. So take it away, Iman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peacock. Good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here today. It's such a big opportunity for me to be here, and I'm so happy and excited. Um, I recently moved to Arkansas, as Mr. Peacock mentioned recently, and I have to say I love everything about it. I love the trails, the sunsets, the lakes, and everything, especially the Razorbacks. So enjoying to watch football and all those kinds of things really has made me feel at home in Arkansas. But one of the things that really truly made me feel at home was the opportunity given to me by Haas Academy to be able to volunteer at Northwest Arkansas Medical Center. And my journey being in volunteering in the hospital has really shown me how small acts of kindness can truly make a big difference in everyone's lives and not just my own. And so to whoever is watching, to the audience, I'd like to say, whether you're new to the area or if you're looking for a place to feel like a sense of belonging, I hope you all find your own way to volunteer and be able to make any place or even this place feel like home to everyone. Now, today I'm excited because we have amazing guest speakers here with us today, being able to share with us their important volunteership and share with us everything that they can. And before I invite our first guest speaker, I would like to let the audience know that if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat and we'll try our level best to be able to answer all of them. So for our first guest speaker today, I would like to present Angela Smith, who is the Director of Youth Empowerment Programs at Teen Action and Support Center and has worked with adolescents in the educational field as a Montessori teacher. So please welcome Ms. Angela.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me very much. I would say, or I wanted to share that my initial draw to the Teen Action and Support Center was the teen volunteering program. When I first began with Task roughly 4 years ago, it was as the teen volunteer coordinator, which was so important to me at the time because I was in a season of my life where I was exploring different volunteer options, just as a way to kind of find my fire in the world, my passion. I was volunteering at the Botanical Gardens and at Saving Grace and at Task and some other local nonprofits. I was in this season of transition career-wise and trying to answer that age-old question, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And volunteering was what opened the doors for me. And it gave me the chance to explore and try so many different options and finally find the answer to that question, what would I do if money didn't matter? What would I do for the rest of my life? And so through that, I've gotten to be a part of, on the backside now, creating and facilitating teen volunteer opportunities. And it's been beautiful to see, to walk with teens through that part of life as well. I've gotten to see them explore different skills and interests. I've gotten to see them kind of figure out who they are through different volunteer opportunities, trying things they maybe otherwise wouldn't have. And then, as was mentioned earlier, just that confidence in self when you find your place in the world and when you get to see and feel firsthand how effective and important you are as a human being is something really special. And so thank you so much for having me today and loving being part of all the NWA Welcome Week activities and especially the teen volunteering part. It's our special interest.
That's wonderful. So my question for you today would be, when you see teens take the lead in service, what changes do you notice in them, personal relationships, and their connections to our local community?
The changes that I see in teens, originally they go from maybe, just as we all do, a little bit unsure. It's usually something new. A lot of times when you're volunteering, we're not typically doing the same thing over and over again. So there's always that initial trying to figure it out, a little bit wary, a little bit unsure, taking in the new environment and information. But then there's always that moment where everyone settles in. They settle into that volunteer opportunity. They realize, okay, this is not so bad. I can do this. Or there might be a lot of new people here, but I'm not as nervous as I thought I would be. I got to see teens who would not otherwise identify themselves as leaders, perhaps, but through invitations to volunteer in specific opportunities and seeing that all the way through and realizing that they made a difference and realizing that they enjoyed it, are now seeing themselves through a different lens. It's like a different set of glasses on for their self perspective. And so I think that the expansion of their self-identity is probably the most beautiful change that I notice. And then they have the incentive and the initiative from there to go and be teen leaders in our community. They are the ones who are stepping up and encouraging others and leading others. And it's really cool to see.
Yes, I agree. Definitely, volunteering does really change a lot of people and create like a character development for them. And I definitely agree with that. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
We've
you.
inspired a lot of people today. So for the next guest speaker today, we have Mr. Jimmy Moore, who is a communications officer for the Walton Family Foundation, focused on storytelling, grant making, and stakeholder engagement in the home region program. His work supports efforts across Northwest Arkansas and the Arkansas-Mississippi Delta. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Kudos to all of you, all the scholars that are here. When I was y'all's age, I would have been still playing video games or watching cartoons. So kudos to y'all for getting up and making the choice this morning to pour into your future. And then huge shout out to you, Iman. Super impressive. Loved hearing about your background and all the things that you're involved in, and glad to have you here in Arkansas. So super excited to be here today and be a part of this panel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy. So my question to you is, if your mission is to create long-term systemic change, what role do you see young people playing in shaping the future through service today? And how do you see them impacting our future?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Walton Family Foundation is a family-led foundation based off the philanthropic efforts of Sam and Helen Walton. So we tackle tough social and environmental problems with urgency and a long-term approach to creating access to opportunity for people and communities. In Northwest Arkansas and in the Arkansas-Mississippi Delta, as part of our strategy, is called Emerging Leaders. That's an effort to cultivate the next generation of talent and ensure diverse voices have a seat at the table. So, with that, we believe that young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, that you all are actually shaping the future today. Through service, you bring energy, creativity, and urgency to the challenges of our that our communities face. These opportunities, you guys help us build skills. We in turn provide you with mentorship, where you can help deepen empathy. You can strengthen connections across communities. By investing in young people now, we're creating a pipeline and change makers who can tackle complex issues with resilience and vision. That impact extends beyond individual growth. It strengthens entire communities, it helps build systems, and it helps shape a future rooted in collaboration and shared responsibility. So I know that was kind of a big answer to the question, but I think in simpler terms is we need youth to be involved now. Youth are our future, but they're also our today. It's not just about the older people providing you guys wisdom. It's about us learning from you all to see what the world is really going to look like in the future. Because whether we like to admit it or not, you guys are the future leaders, and some of you guys are even taking the step to be a leader today.
That's amazing, Mr. Jim Warren. I agree as well because we tend to learn from everyone, even younger people, older people. We learn every single day, whether you're young or old. And I really appreciate for you taking your time to be able to talk with us and giving your insight to this program. Thank you so much. For our next guest speaker, we'll have Miss Jessica Gray. And Jessica Gray currently serves as the Vice President of Corporate Business Development at Signature Bank of Arkansas since October 2019, where her responsibilities include strategic initiatives and business growth. So please welcome Miss Jessica Gray.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I'm Jessica. I also want to point out, I didn't realize I have a welcoming week mug from 2021. Anyway, yeah, I work at Signature Bank. I actually started out as a teller and then worked my way up to executive assistant to the CEO, and now I'm vice president of corporate business development and our community engagement.
Thank you, Miss Jessica Gray, for taking your time to be able to talk with us today. So my question for you is, just like saving money builds wealth over time, how does giving your time through volunteering and civic engagement build community wealth, and why is this important at Signature Bank?
Okay, so yes, money builds wealth over time, and so does volunteering your time. When your community thrives, we all thrive. And small acts of service, small acts of kindness have a greater impact on the community. And at Signature, as a community bank, that's what we thrive for. I mean, we are all about building our community, building up everyone that is actively trying to do good in the community. So yeah, over time, that is what helps the community thrive.
That's amazing. So a question for you, just ended. In what ways can volunteering open doors to mentorship relationships and future opportunities that shape both the student's career and personal life?
Oh man, that's a big one. So volunteering builds those soft skills and also builds leadership skills. My boss will tell you, it's not always about the grades. It's about what you do and who you know and who you meet along the way and the mentors you pick up. And when you volunteer, it's your foot in the door to get access to some of those future jobs. It's the networking you get. It's not just, it's not just about you. It's about all the people that you will learn from, and then the people you can help mentor in the future as well. So volunteering your time is just huge. I wouldn't know really half the people I know today. I probably wouldn't know Monica if it wasn't for volunteering and being in a lot of those rooms and then being able to get access to other rooms and tables through volunteering.
That's very true. Building connections is also very important around the world for you to be able to jump into the ladder of your success. And I agree that volunteership does the same thing.
Yep.
And so thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we have another guest speaker who's as important as everyone else, and that is Miss Alison Nation. And Miss Alison Nation is a Chief Marketing Officer and former Vice President of Communications and Marketing at Visit Bentonville. She has worked in the communications field for more than a decade, previously as Marketing Director for Bentonville's Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. Please welcome Miss Alison Nation.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here today. So my question for you would be, when people visit our city, what makes them feel most welcome and interested to come back or even move here? And how can young scholars engaging in the region help build and develop region vitality?
I just love this question. And I want to start with that first part about when people visit our city. And everyone, please take a minute and think about, what do you like to do in Bentonville? What are those things that you enjoy? Because those experiences are what people visit to do as well. So a couple ideas: going to Crystal Bridges, exploring the galleries, maybe biking or walking on the trails, enjoying our city parks with beautiful plants and playgrounds and clean spaces and safe spaces, enjoying our delicious food with wonderful staff smiling and welcoming to their establishments. And those experiences are what people come here for: the biking, the visiting the museum. And then when you step one step further and think about, who are those people making those museums so open and welcoming, those trails so wonderful and easy to get to? A lot of times it's volunteers. A lot of our area resources, our parks, our museums are nonprofits, and they're run as smoothly as they're run because of hundreds of volunteers that support keeping the galleries filled with people answering questions like Ask Me guides or trail cleanup crews. And so, yeah, when people visit our city and they feel welcome, it's often because of the work that volunteers have done and the work that volunteers are doing to keep our communities so welcoming. The vitality you're talking about, without those invested folks, we don't have as much things to offer folks. So I guess that's what I would say.
That's very true. I feel like the things that we do in Arkansas is what makes people come here and enjoy their time and even come back and move here. Because first, when I moved, I definitely loved seeing the outdoors, the trees, green everything. And it was such an amazing experience. So I definitely agree with that. And I can vouch for what you just said, because truly it has been an experience for me personally to be in Arkansas. So
I
thank
love
you
that.
so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
Mhm.
Really appreciate it. So for our next guest speaker today will be Miss Tyrah Jackson. And Miss Tyrah Jackson, as a community engagement educator at Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, she is responsible for planning, coordinating, logistics, communications, and facilitating assigned, created, and curated programs and projects for the museum's community engagement department. So please welcome Miss Tyrah Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. Iman, you said it all, honey. So that was amazing. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to be here. You've been fantastic, and the other panelists have been fantastic this morning. But exactly, I do all that coordinating and logistics and that. But also, one of the most important things about my job is really just being a person that the community around us, and the community around us includes students and scholars like yourself, can engage with and understand that, and have them understand and build trust and want to engage with Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. And we are a community-centered museum. And so really our biggest objective is to do things, put on exhibitions, programs, anything you can think of, and be that third space for the community and by the community. And we know that we can only do that with the community. And that includes students and teens. One of the things that Mr. Peacock said this morning when he was introducing us that really stuck out to me was, we want students and scholars like yourself to be in community with your peers, but also we want you to be in community with us. And so we know that means kind of getting to know you and having these opportunities for you to join us at the museum and inspire what's on the wall. So thank you for being here.
Of course, thank you for being here as well. And so for my question to you is, museums keep history alive, right? So why is it important for young people to get civically engaged today to ensure that their voices are remembered tomorrow? And how does CBMAA reflect young voices and perspectives?
One, I love that question. And to answer it, it's a really long answer, but it can be short and sweet. And it's been summarized over this entire morning from what the other panelists have been sharing, and that it's you all that are our future, right? And we've seen that throughout history. Pete Townsend and the kids are all right. And now that's everyone saying when they're thinking about what are the kids and the students and the scholars thinking of? How are they seeing the world? What does the world look like through their eyes? And you always hear, oh, the kids are all right. And throughout history, we've looked at the perspective of what are young people experiencing as history is going about. And it's always you all that are going to shape that future, exactly like what Mr. Warren said. And so we know as a museum, and museums and institutions around the country know that it's imperative that we do things, and we welcome you all and be that trusting space for you all to engage with us so we can build a really inclusive history.
That's wonderful. Definitely. We agree that today our teens are the ones going to build the future and make what America is in the future, actually. So I definitely agree that that is a very important factor to consider. But thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you taking your time to talk to us.
For having me.
Okay, that will be all of our panelists today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for taking your time to be able to talk to us. It has really been inspirational, and we got to know a lot more about what your communities or working professions do today. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'm gonna pass it over to Miss Margot.
Thank you, Amon, so much. Really appreciate you. The panelists, you're amazing. And I think one thing I'll ask is if anyone has questions for our panelists, because this is a unique opportunity to connect with incredible leaders across the sectors in our community. And I know we have a really good room out there with a whole bunch of people. So please in chat, ask any specific questions. And as we're waiting for that, I would love to maybe open up the room a little bit and invite our panelists to give some perspective on volunteering service, on your organizations that we haven't touched upon. And maybe, Angela, I'll just start with you and then you can popcorn on. Can you give us a little bit of background about TASK? Because just for people who aren't familiar, and just let us know how people can engage and how can our scholars get to know you and where are you?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you. Well, the Teen Action and Support Center has just entered our 20th year. It's our 20th birthday now. And we seek to be Northwest Arkansas's leading teen-focused nonprofit. Our mission at the heart is supporting teens on their journey to becoming the best version of themselves. And volunteering is such an integral part of this. We have 2 local teen centers. One is in Springdale, one is in Rogers. And the connection and sign up process is rather similar to a library. Teens will either come by the center or online, send us their information. We click a button and turn that into your account. You'll get a little, like a library card, except for it says task on it instead of library. And then with that username and password, any local teen can sign up for whatever activities speak to them, whether that's a life skill workshop, a teen volunteer project, or an arts and culture based activity. And I think I have 2 favorite parts about teen volunteering at Task. Number 1 is how hard we work to create the sanctity of that teen space. So there are there's more than 2,500 nonprofits in Northwest Arkansas. So teens certainly have a lot of places and chances to go volunteer around our community, but we're one of the only ones where you can come without mom and dad, without a guardian, without the rest of the family. And although there's absolutely a time and a place for volunteering alongside your family, I additionally love the magic and the comfortability and the extended exploring that gets to happen when teens are with other teens volunteering. There's no grown-ups there to bail us out. It's we get this job done and we show up and we represent young people well and we represent ourselves well, or we don't. And there's extra room to be yourself, I think. And then my second favorite part about teens volunteering with us is the expanse of the opportunities. We are rarely ever doing the same thing. We have some incredible community partners, some of who are represented here today. And so in the course of a month, a teen could come volunteer with us doing everything from serving at the food bank or Bread of Life food pantry, or helping to process donations at the Potter's House warehouse, or assisting with the Crystal Bridges Teen Art Market, or next weekend we're going to the LPGA tournament and helping the children's shelter run their lemonade stand. So catch us at the 17th hole next Saturday. Just the absolute unique variety that we are able to, as an organization, kind of open the doors for teens to get in places they might not have otherwise done alone. And I love that there's a little bit of something for everyone and a chance for young people to try out their hand at so many different things and places.
Thank you so much, Angela. Amazing response. We had a question in the chat that's for you, and then we have a general question for panelists. So Angela, just staying with you for a minute, Katie asked, do teens have to be resident or a student or scholar in Springdale or Rogers to participate with TASK?
Thank you so much for that question. Nope, not at all. There's no limit on where a young person lives. Anyone 7th to 12th grade can come volunteer or learn with us. Those are simply our 2 kind of our bookends of where our teen centers are located, so that there's one in Washington County, one in Benton County, but your teen account gives you access to everything that we have across both sites. So it's really up to you, wherever is most convenient for you to get to.
Thank you so much, Angela. I knew you would say that, and I was hoping you would say that. Want to serve all our young people. I really appreciate it. So Bethany put a question here, and it reminds me of how I felt as a teen, and I would say even feel now, which is nervous and uncertain whenever I'm approaching a new situation. So this answer is probably for me too. But would love to hear from our panelists. What would you say to a young person or a scholar who is a bit uncertain where to start, and maybe even not sure that they have skills to share? And maybe Jimmy, I can start with you, and then you can just popcorn to someone else in the room.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of anything, just starting. I think that uncertainty is always going to be there from LeBron James taking the first shot, anybody who enters into politics, Olivia Rodrigo before she sang her first note. That part of uncertainty is always going to be there, and it's something that everybody has to get over. I think the second part of that though is believing in yourself that you have skills to offer. I think everybody on this call here has something that they can offer, whether you know it or not. Somebody is looking for that exact thing that you have. It's just going to be being intentional and really focusing on the self-care and maintenance of yourself to know what that skill is and how you best can provide it to others. So that uncertainty is something that everybody deals with. Is something that a bridge that everybody is going to have to cross. I still deal with it, that uncertainty of taking the first step. But the good thing about it is everyone has been in your shoes or will be in your shoes at some point to take that first step to learning something new. So just build yourself up, take a deep breath, give yourself that little self-care pep talk, and then just jump in there and do it. That's the only way that you're ever going to learn it. And it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes, but that's the only way that we grow is in those situations of uncomfortability. So just get ready for it and then just take that first step. And let me see, who do I want to pass it over to? I'll ask, is there any volunteers who wants it to be passed to them?
I'll say a few things.
I was gonna
Oh.
say, chime in with what you had said, like, sometimes it helps to have a buddy go with you to volunteer. Or if you've got a mentor, or if the place you want to volunteer at, you go and ask them, hey, do you care if I tag along with you? Kind of have someone take you under their wing. I do that a lot with people at work, people in the community. I'm like, well, just come along with me. I'll help you through this. And I've had people do that for me as well. Getting a little nervous. Monica, I know you've done that for me. And I'm like, I'm terrified to do this. And it just helps to have a person kind of behind you, give you that little encouragement. Yeah.
I know I invited everybody to share, and I will, but I do want Iman, there's a question for you, and I would love for you to answer it, which is, how did you build your courage to volunteer and be of service in the community?
Great question. I'm gonna be totally honest. At first, I did not have the confidence to be able to volunteer at all. I was a very, I would say introverted kid. I would not want to go outside. I would always want to stay at home. I didn't always want to be able to communicate with people and try to build connections with everyone. But I did have my parents to be able to push me to that level of maturity at my age. They did tell me every single day that I could do it. I should go out and build that connection. And I took that stepping stone. I just like shut off my mind at the moment, kind of told myself I shouldn't think about anyone else. I shouldn't think about anyone judging me or anything like that, because today that's how people start to think. The first time you want to like, what do you call this? The way you want to like interact with people, the first thought is, what do they think of me? How are they going to think of me? What if I do something? Are they going to think about it in a wrong way or in a bad way? So you put like mountains and mountains of thoughts in your head, making you not want to go out and interact with everyone. So I kind of like shut off all the thoughts and told myself I can do anything and I should be able to go out and make a connection with the community and be able to help people in the medical area and help anyone, as a matter of fact, even if it's to make someone's day feel better by just smiling at them and asking them how their day was. At least I did something, at least I built a connection. So I feel like that's how I got the courage to be able to just shut off everything else in the world that was unnecessary and told myself to take the first step in.
Iman, I feel like that was a course on leadership right there. Thank you so much.
Thank
And I'm
you.
going to pass back to panelists to answer, to share from before, but I did want to hear from Iman because we had a question.
I'll jump in. I love, Amon, what you said, and it made me think about how when you're dwelling in those areas, those mountains of worry, it's helpful to try to remember that you're going to be making a difference, that the people you're volunteering with need you, and they aren't going to be looking at you saying like, what does this person think they can do? They'll be saying, oh, great. Like, here's someone coming to me to donate their time and energy. I'm just excited to have their support. And so that question that's kind of started this, Bethany, I love, Jessica, what you said about, finding a buddy and asking a friend. And as a scholar, a student, I think talking to your teachers, talking to folks that have known you, get their ideas. Ask your parents' friends. Folks in your network may have some suggestions for you. And always remembering that the folks that you're volunteering with are so grateful to have you.
Thank you so much, Alison. I love that. And this is so exciting because we have lots of questions. But would love, maybe Tyrah, I can give this to you. Can you talk about what are soft skills? What does that mean? And how do you see the museum playing a role in helping develop those, and just people serving, scholars serving and volunteering in general? So share what soft skills look like with us, and then maybe share with us what practically, how can the community and serving in organizations help us develop them? Thank you.
Of course, and I love that question because actually Jessica mentioned soft skills earlier, and that's something we call them soft, but they're not always soft. And they're not always as easy to conquer and to be an expert in. It's kind of some of the hardest skills to develop, actually, because of a lot of it calls for introspection, being willing to listen to understand and listen to not respond, going and interacting with folks without that transaction piece, but rather wanting to be in community and build community and find kinship and likeness and things that you share and have in common. And that's sometimes the most difficult things that people can do, right? And that kind of atones to the question that Iman asked earlier about that historical piece. And that's something that history has always shown as well. And so soft skills are not always soft, but what they are, it's that ability to communicate, right? And to communicate without having necessarily something that you're wanting to hear, something that you're wanting to solve for. It's that ability to shirk that anxiety that we talked about, and that nervousness to start, because you understand that when you do start, the impact that you're going to have is going to be tenfold, right? And we're having impact even when we don't realize we're having impact. There's that ripple effect of life that I could say one thing to you that really sticks out and you carry it with you, and I just forget it the next day, right? I could forget about all the interaction, but you're carrying that with you. And so soft skills are those things where it's calling for us to like interact with each other, that communication, that trust, that ability to be in spirit and be in community. That's what soft skills are. And there's another multitude of soft skills, right? And so I could go all day on them, but they're some of the most valuable things that we'll have as human beings. In ways that folks can, engage with those and hone those on the Crystal Bridges campus, particularly students. So we have a couple of opportunities. We actually have a teen council at Crystal Bridges. Teens from across the state, but really across Northwest Arkansas can apply. And it's similar to a community advisory council that we have, right? And so the purpose is for you to all join us and hear from experts about and be in conversation, whether that's our curatorial team, our community engagement team, really whatever you could think of, that opportunity to have that one-on-one and see how your contributions and your voice can be actually put into the physical space that is Crystal Bridges, right? And understand how important that is when trying to get your community and have you all be in community with us. We also have a hefty teen volunteer program. Actually, our volunteer services is amazing. And similar to what Miss Alison said earlier about when you're looking at the grounds, when you're looking at the art, when you're going throughout the cities, the 4 cities, but especially Bentonville, a lot of those things, whether that's a First Friday or that's an opening celebration at Crystal Bridge as far as special exhibition, the first people you're going to see are the volunteers, right? whether you're outside or inside the museum. And those are going to be your greeters. Those are going to be the people that are in community with you that are going to understand how you want to be welcomed into the space. And so we have a teen volunteer program actually geared towards you, where we also want to get to know you, understand what you're passionate about. One of the things that the earlier question asks is when you don't feel like you have skills. We all have skills, because skills are just whatever we're passionate about and how we continue to hone on it and build a craft around it, okay? And so we want to understand what you're passionate about and then pair you to be volunteering in something that aligns with that. And so one thing we have for teens 14 to 18 is you can be partnered with our youth and family programs and become a part of our art crew. And so you'll help us instruct summer camps, see how what's the other side of being the educator, like Miss Culpepper on here. You know, she's like the top educator, right? And so you get to see the side of that and understand what her perspective is, and then also lean into those passions. Because is it that you want to be a teacher, or do you have that experience? You're like, no, I would rather be outside. So then if you want to be outside, we can partner you up to be with our Trails and Grounds team and experience that and how we beautify our space and engage with our native environment, right? And so many opportunities, something that Angela spoke about with our teen art fair and volunteering there. And so live into what you are, be confident in yourself, be comfortable being uncomfortable, because it won't just be in your teens. It won't just be in your teens.
Thank you so much, Tyrah. There was so many nuggets of incredible wisdom in there, and the couple that really stood out for me, that you started really strong with soft skills are hard. And I think that I love that, and really that soft skills are really the focus and the crux of who we want to show up as in our communities. And then I really loved your sort of the way you interpreted moving from transactional relationships with the organizations in your community into transformational relationship in serving and connecting. So thank you so much. And there was so much in there, Tyrah. But I do, Tyrah, let's just stay with you. And Laura, I see you, and I want to bring Laura's question in, and then Tyrah, I'll give you a question, and then I'll maybe put Laura's question to the team. But Laura Bernal shared a question: how can volunteering help me with university and college selection? Which I think is, thank you so much for that, Laura, thinking forward, and incredibly important at this point in people's lives. And then I do want, Tyrah, you to answer Iman's specific question, which is how and where can she apply for the volunteership programs mentioned? And I do want to say I did put the Teen Council link in the chat. I also put the Big Brothers Big Sisters link in the chat. So maybe, Tyrah, we can start with you, and then everyone, I would love to hear from each of you, because I'm sure there are many more people than Laura thinking about that, which is how can volunteering help with university and college selection? Thanks.
Of course. And Iman, thank you so much. That's a great question. So, and I'll put the links in the chat and the phone number as well. But there's a couple of ways to get in contact to hear more about those teen volunteer opportunities and then apply. You can actually reach out to our phone number. I'm not a person that likes to be on the phone either. So if that's a little trepidatious, you will have to eventually hone that skill. But you can give us a call at 479-657-2383, and I'll drop that in the chat. But then you could also visit our website at Crystal Bridges, www.crystalbridges.org. And also you can actually reach out to our email address at volunteer@crystalbridges.org. I'm going to drop every single one of those links in the chat and have them share them with Ms. Culpepper too, so she can send it out to you all. But those are a couple of ways that you can get in direct contact with our application process and understanding more of the different things and opportunities we offer teens, because it's even more than the couple that I mentioned, right?
And I do
thank you for the question, Iman.
Sorry, Tyrah. Yeah, thank you so much. I do want to say, because it's just reminded me, we will be recording the session, we'll share the session with you, but also post-session, we're going to put together a full resource packet of all the links, all the, everything that people shared. If there's any presentations and slides, those will be shared, and that will be available for everybody. So please do know that we will do everything we can to share as much resources as we can. And also that means that maybe your wrist won't hurt as much busily writing things down or copying and pasting, because maybe young people don't write anymore. I don't know. But just opening up the question for everybody and going back to that question about, what does it look like? Why is service so important? And what does it look like for college and school applications? And why is, how does a young person showcase that?
I'm happy to speak a little bit to that. College and career prep is something that is also at the heart of what we do at Task. So I've kind of gotten to see both sides of this. So of course, I'll start with the obvious. We all know that your volunteer time is admirable. It is well looked after and sought after by universities. So, of course, having that experience on your resume and to speak from on college admissions essays is just going to put more options on the table for you. Beyond the obvious, on your side of how does it assist you with selecting a university? So say you have all these options on the table, how are you going to figure out which one is the right path for you? I so passionately believe that volunteering is a way to help you do that, to help you filter. I think anyone who's been to college would probably tell you, or at least 99% of us, that it is trial and error. I don't remember exact statistics, but I don't think I know anyone personally who actually ended up graduating with the exact degree plan that they started with on day one as a freshman. So there is a great deal of you pick a path, you try it out, you're making the best decision you can with the information available to you at the time. And a lot of time going into college, we just don't have all of the life experience yet that's really going to give us the guidance of where we're going to end up at the end. So volunteering is a way that you do get to go into those worlds and try out different interests of yours, different skills of yours. Just like Miss Tyrah was mentioning, there's room for that trial and error in the Crystal Bridges teen volunteer programs. Maybe you think right now, well, I love watercolor painting, so I'm going to be an art teacher when I grow up. And then you go volunteer at Crystal Bridges one Saturday and you're like, you know what? Fall break fun was fun. And simultaneously, I never want to do that again. So now you know you're not going to go into an art teacher degree field or something similar to that. So it gives you a really great sort of low stakes way, if you will, to try your hand at these different skills that you have or interests, because it's super, super valid to be passionate about something and for that to not be your future career field. We don't necessarily make a career out of everything that we're interested in or out of everything that we have to offer. Some things are going to be your mission field. Some things are going to be, this is what I can give back for free on my own time. You don't have to make a career out of all of that. So I think it will guide you a little bit more. It'll just give you, that volunteering will give you more information to work with when you're deciding what degree field you want to go into, which then will guide you into what university is the best choice for you. And it is okay if you want to change your mind. It doesn't have to be, not a lot of decisions are forever decisions. So there is room to experiment.
Alison, maybe I can invite you and Jessica to share on the same, and Jimmy, would love to hear from you too, on the same topic if you want to add anything.
I would love to. And Angela, something you said at the top of that struck me was about folks who maybe get a degree or enter a degree program but don't stay in it. Well, I entered the degree program. I got a BFA and then I got an MFA, so making art in my education. But now I am in communications. So everything you were saying about exposure to different experiences is so wonderful about volunteering. And I think your career can exist and you can have activities you love where you pursue volunteering to make a contribution in that activity. I've been reflecting a lot around this panel on the volunteering I did as a high schooler 25 plus years ago. Things like volunteering at community historic homes. I have this very clear memory of standing in a historic home, helping people step out of a room onto the patio to see the architecture and not trip. That was like the tiniest, strangest thing, but I really do like historic homes and I enjoy seeing them. So there are so many things, like from small to big, that you can do and can stick with you. I know that was kind of a strange story, but those little things will stick with you. And yeah, who else could like?
Thank you so much, Alison. I love that and would love to hear from everyone, like all our panelists. Like, what did you study in school? What did you do in college? And how might that be different from the area you're in now? But also, what skills did you learn through the years that you still use today, even if, like I did a law degree, I'm not a lawyer today, but I certainly use every skill I learned as a lawyer and in my practicing today. So I'd love to hear from, maybe we can start with you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I was the same way. So I started school as a management and marketing degree major and found out on that path that you had to do math and ran into accounting principles one and changed my major to communications because in communications you only have to take one math class and it was world math. So it was super easy and allowed me to stay on that path. And fortunately, I have stayed in communications till today. So in college, I had all kind of volunteer opportunities. I think the one that and I'll try to be as non-political as I can, but I was able to volunteer for a party affiliation, and that party affiliation later allowed me the opportunity to volunteer at a Presidential National Day of Service and work on communications efforts in DC. So a lot of those volunteer opportunities when you're in college can lead to other opportunities. And I think having that on my resume opened up a lot of doors for me too. So you never know where those volunteer opportunities can lead to you. So just be open to trying new things out. If you know you're interested in sports, there's different sports opportunities that you can try out. If you're interested in cooking, there's different cooking opportunities that you can find out. I think the way that we got here, though, is the initial question was how can volunteering help me decide on my college? And what I would say is look at their different online pages, look at their website, see what volunteer opportunities they have. You might find that that college that you're looking at may have a lot more opportunities compared to another college. See what interests you in their volunteer opportunities. You may dismiss a college because you see that they're not as dedicated to the community and have volunteering efforts that another college may do. So just review what volunteer opportunities are out there when you make your decision. If you're one of those people who know, I know exactly what I want to do, I want to go pre-med, I'm going to med school, I want to make sure that they have volunteer opportunities that align me with medical students or help me give back to the community in terms of service in medicine. Maybe you're looking for those volunteer opportunities when you're looking for a college.
Thank you, Jimmy. Passing it on to you, Jessica.
Oh, okay. Jimmy brought it back to that last question, so I forgot what your question was, Monica. Can you repeat?
You could do either. Yeah, one question was just, what did you study in school?
Oh, yes. Okay.
And what you're doing now, and how is that different? And also, where do you see like the skills you developed then really help you today? And then Jimmy was answering to college choice and how.
Yeah, I was gonna. So with college, I did start out with my major that I wanted to do and ended with the degree in it and several minors because I had a lot of interests. And I don't do anything in that field anymore. And I actually went the exact opposite. Never thought I'd be in banking because, Jimmy, I was not a fan of math or percentages either. And so I was real shocked at the career path and where I landed. But I will say, along the way, I started out, my first job out of college was in my field. And then I went back to school thinking I wanted to go get another degree. And in the middle of that, I worked at a local pharmacy, not knowing anything about pharmacy or pharmaceuticals. And I loved it because it was a community pharmacy. And I met so many people in the community and I got opportunities to volunteer doing all kinds of things. And so I stuck with that for a while, and I went to a bigger job in pharmaceuticals. And then through my old job, I met my boss, and he told me about all the community things they were doing and how involved, and I could be involved as I wanted to in anything that I wanted to be involved in. And I love that. So that's how I ended up in banking and learning banking and then becoming our community development officer.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I have just appreciated hearing from everybody. And Iman, if you are still there, would love to see you. And thank you for being an incredible moderator, but really just inspiration for our scholars and our community. Before we sort of end the session, what I will ask is if any person on this panel feels comfortable sharing their LinkedIn or any information that will allow scholars to ask you a question if they didn't get an opportunity to, or connect with you, please do that in chat, or we can get that from you for later. But I know that if our scholars are going to get up on a Saturday morning and join us, it would be amazing if they can connect with you all. So thank you all so much. We have lots of incredible sessions coming up. We are going to give you a quick bio break, but invite Iman, maybe you want to just say a couple of words before we move into that bio break, and Bethany, welcome you to come off mic, please.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to be a part of this event and take part in talking to so many amazing people and having to hear their insights on how volunteership is important to everyone and also in our teen life, and to be able to start the stepping stone in our future, and also trying to welcome people in our community and build this sense of unionship and community amongst every place in this Arkansas as of right now. So thank you so much again. I really appreciate it, and thank you for having me.
I also want to just thank everyone for being here and for opening up and just sharing all of this wisdom, not just for our teens, but I'm taking home a lot to reflect on and think about. And so I appreciate you opening up and being genuine and authentic and sharing how volunteerism has really changed your life and maybe your professional trajectory. So I just so appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Iman, Bethany, Tyrah, Angela, Jessica, Alison, Jimmy. Just appreciate you all so much.